Hi and welcome to Willowfairy Knits. I'm Helena. I've decided to start a podcast. I love podcasts. I watch them or listen to them as often as I can. I've got a huge list of ones that I watch, and I like to watch things from the beginning and make my way through. So I've got a huge list. I'm well behind on a lot of them though. But I thought I'd start my own because I'm shocking with blogs, but I love them and I just wanted to show off all my pretty things. So here I go. I'm a knitter and a spinner, self-taught pretty much. Started about 3.5 years ago with the knitting with my best mate Amber. We decided pretty much at the same time that we wanted to learn how to knit, and both of us had a tiny amount of knowledge on how to knit, Amber more so than I did. So she taught me everything she knew, and then off we went from there. She's taken up more crochet side of things, and I'm much more of a knitter. And then spinning came along not too long after that, and I now have 3 wheels and multiple spindles, so, and a room full of fibre and yarn, much to the disgust of my husband. Sorry if I seem a bit uncomfortable. I'm sitting on my husband's computer chair on 2 cushions because I'm so short. I feel like I'm too short for this chair, but I won't be swiveling hopefully too much because I can't reach the ground. All right, let's get started. First thing I'm going to talk about is my Juno Regina shawl or wrap that I am knitting for my mother-in-law. It's her birthday in November and I'm hoping to get this done by that time. Otherwise it's a Christmas present. And I don't do a lot of knitting for other people, though it might seem that way when I go through what I'm knitting at the moment, but I had about 1.5 years or so of pretty selfish knitting, which was lovely. Lots of shawls. I love lace, so just getting into knitting for other people again, which is fun. So on to the project. This is what I've got done so far. I've done the first section. I know it looks a bit like cat yak, but the colour's pretty good. On here it's a bit washed out, but you get the idea. It's oranges and yellows and some sparkles, which you can see better in the ball. I have this whole ball, which is getting a little bit hollow. I've got a toilet roll holder in the middle to stop it collapsing on itself because it's silk. But the hole's getting too wide for the toilet roll. Is that a problem? I don't know. I don't usually knit with silk. So I've got whole skein left after this ball as well. So I'm hoping to get through the whole thing. Otherwise, I am using lifelines. I'm using lifelines because I don't want to have to cry if I have to rip it out, because I've got just over 950 yards according to my Nitty Noddy of the yarn, and you need about 950 yards to do this shawl. So if I need to make it a little bit shorter, I can. I'll talk about the yarn in a second. I'm knitting it on my Addy Turbo Lace needles. What size is that? It says 3.25, which in American terms, US number 3. Okay, so it's very pretty. The yarn was spun on my second wheel, which was made by a local gentleman called Ron Doyley. I'm not sure if he still makes wheels. He's getting a bit on. It's a nice wheel. It's just a bit clunky and it's single treadle and no gears and everything. So I have just recently upgraded, and I'll talk about that a bit later. But the fibre was from, and I just dropped it. There we go. Moseley Park. It's the Fibre Club from May of last year. And I'll just cover up some of her contact details, but there's her address, moseleyparkhome.com, and it's a 2-ply. The first ply is English Leicester Cross Merino Lamb, and it was a bat and it had some sparklies in it as well, so it was quite nice to spin. I don't mind sparklies. I know some people have issues with it, but I quite like the effect that it has. If you can see, and it's mostly orange with pops of yellow, and then the sparkles were pinky purpley, so they're all sort of colours that my mother-in-law seems to enjoy. And then the other ply, excuse me for reaching, it just dropped, was also from the same club shipment, but I actually had to order some extra for this ply. It was a silk cap in orange. So I think I probably used about 2 of these silk caps to go with the 100 grams of fibre or so, or probably just under. It says it's approximately 100 grams, but I think it's probably a bit over, just because I got quite a lot from it. And so that's my main thing that I'm knitting at the moment. Sorry for the rustling. I'm a fidgeter, that's why I knit. It took a long time to get to this stage because I just didn't know what I wanted to knit. I really wanted to knit something out of my Victorian Lace Today book. I buy a lot of books and I never use them. I use Ravelry for most of my patterns. And I do mostly use free patterns, but I have bought a few and then I don't use them. So I wanted to use that book, but I didn't quite have enough to do some really big elaborate shawl. And then I found one that I quite liked. Can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was pretty. And I started. I did it was a stole, because that's what my mother-in-law wears. She wears lots of silk stoles and things like that. I've never knit her anything, so I do hope she likes it. We'll see. So I had garter stitch edge and then start up a bit of lace, and my lace sometimes I don't have enough stitches between the stitch markers and I just fudge, so I'd knit about that much lace, and then one day I looked at it and down here was 2 drop stitches in lace. I'm not a good enough knitter to be able to pick up and move the stitches up in lace. And I wasn't really liking how the fabric was turning out. It was a bit too loose. I'm a very loose knitter. This is quite loose as well, but I think it will work. So I just ripped it out and eventually settled on this shawl. I'm really liking it. It's good. I like it. So let's hope there's no tears. All right. Next thing that I'm working on. I work on lots of things. These are just what I'm currently working on. Here's the Transmits. Don't have the pattern in front of me, can't tell you who it's by, but doing the knit along with the Podcaster Challenge with Becca from Knit Bites. One of my favourite podcasts. I do enjoy it because I'm a big nerd. I like video games. My husband loves video games. He is a Nintendo fanboy. So we've got lots of video games. So it's a very good podcast. And this is what I've done so far. Or well, I finished one knit and I really like it. I got a bit confused with some of the instructions in the pattern. I don't know if it was just me being stupid or the pattern just wasn't written the way my brain works, but it all worked out. It was all fine. The thumb has holes around it. I don't know how to pick up stitches and not leave holes. That is something I would love to learn. We don't have lessons for knitting around here. Maybe ask one of the girls at my knit night. But I've started the second one. So did the ribbing and some of the pattern with the cables. So the yarn is fantastic. It is some Stranded in Oz Pink Argos, I believe the colorway is, and it's her premium 8-ply merino. So soft and smushy. It's actually leftovers from a beret that I knit as a test knit not too long ago. It's over there. I'm not going to get it out. And it's lovely, and I love it. So smushy and soft and pretty. So that's the other thing that I'm working on, though since I started my Juno, nothing much else has been done, and I've been so busy at work. Well, not busy, I've just been staying back late, catching up. So I haven't had a lot of time to knit anything else. I've started some preemie hats. Everyone's knitting preemie hats. Actually, when I started to knit, one of the reasons I got the idea to knit, sorry, I dropped my ball and I can't reach the ground. Oh, sorry, not a good idea. When I started to knit is because I had a patient. I work in a hospital, not a doctor or a nurse, I'm a technician, but I have patients, and she was telling me about all this charity knitting. She does some jumpers for children in Africa and all sorts of different things, and I thought, what a great idea. I'm yet to knit anything for charity. Shocking. So, baby beanies. It is, again, Stranded in Oz. She's local to me. It's Melissa, Mel. She's originally from the States. She's actually over in the States at the moment doing some shows. She goes over every year to do some shows. And she has a stall in a market not too far from me. And I often like to go and sit and knit and chat with her on a Sunday afternoon. And I buy lots of her pretty yarn. I think there might have been one time I went to visit her and I didn't buy anything. So this is the yarn. It's my leftovers from the Summer Mystery Shawlette by Wendy Knits. And it's pretty, and I love the orange with the little pops of brown. It's just really pretty. I'm not sure if it's superwash though. So if it's not superwash, it's not going to be a baby beanie, because that would just be so awful if somebody took it home, washed it, and it felted. So I got to figure that out. But she, like I said, she's overseas working at the moment, so send her a PM on Rab. Let's see. Dropped it again. If it is or not. If it's not, or even, if it is and I rip it out, I have started another one. Haven't done much though. This is some lovely hand-dyed, again, not by me. This was actually something I got in a swap. I got 2 skeins of it, like this, and it's some Cleckheaton baby cocoon 4-ply, and it's lovely and smushy and machine washable. So I actually knit a hat for Mel from Stranded in Oz out of this. I just had to knit her a hat because she's always lovely and giving me lovely yarn presents and things. So I thought I would knit her a lovely hat. She seemed to like it, and luckily, unbeknownst to me, I gave it to her the day before her birthday. So surprise birthday present. So they're my 2 baby hats that I'm knitting currently, and then I'll show you, not that it has been worked on much for a long time, and I'm thinking of ripping out most of it because I want to make it bigger. Stranded in Oz, again, this is some of her sock yarn. Just trying to remember which base it is, because it's quite a lovely base. It's got lots of small plies in it, and it's squishy. It's either Dye My Pretty or it's not Dye My Pretties. I don't know, she's got some new bases, and they're all sort of, oh, did I drop? No, sorry. And they're all based on Wisdom Oz themes. So I love this. It's so pretty and bright and colourful. I love colours. I love green. The colourway was called Goddess of the Rainforest. So pretty. And I got 2 skeins of it, so I am thinking, like, I started it and I always knew I was going to try and use as much as I could, so I was going to do more of the wavy drop stitches and things like that. But then after I've of course gotten up to this point, I had read that another way to make it bigger was to, sorry, I'm in the middle of a row so I can't stretch it out, was to make the slips, not the slip stitches, the short rows longer, so it took a longer time to get down to the point where you have the amount of stitches you want to do the next part of the pattern. So I'm thinking of ripping it all back to that part of the clues and starting the short rows again. But we'll see. It's not like I hate the pattern of the slip stitch, because I started a scarf for my husband out of the same pattern. Sorry, reaching. My Jessalou bag. I love this bag. Jessalou. You can find her on Etsy. I haven't been buying bags lately, but I have been looking and putting them in my cart on Etsy and then just walking away. I need to find something I love. But this is one of the projects I've been taking around with me. It's a lot of hand spun single ply from my early attempts at spinning, and it's very thick and thin, but it's still nice, and it's for my husband, and it's colours he likes. We've got the green. It started actually going into like a green blue mix there, but then it was green before that, and then before that it was this sort of tan colour, and then before that, it's long, it's like this tan and blue mix, and then I have blue left, so I've got some green and blue mix left, and then the blue on the outside. It's been a long time since I spun this, and they're not my colours. I'm much more of bright colours. Connell, my husband, is much more in browns and greens and tans and things, so that's why he's getting this, and it will match a hat that it's right here. I spun and knit this hat. It's the starving musician hat beanie. It's much too big for me. Still got ends. They're all woven in, but I have an aversion to actually cutting the ends of my yarn. I don't know why. I think that my weaving in isn't any good, and it's gonna all unravel. So I leave my ends dangling. I should really cut it because it is woven in well. But they're both, I believe, from some CJ Kopek colorways that I spun when I used to do the spin-alongs. It's actually taller than me, which isn't hard because I'm only 4'7" and a half on a good day. So that's another thing that I'm knitting on. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna make it, if I'm gonna do the whole thing. I think I will, just because it's a good project to take with me in the car to the movies, work on. Well, I can't work on it at work anymore. I just got told on Friday that it's not a good idea for me to take my knitting into meetings, which is stupid because I don't need to listen to the meetings. Nothing in it is relevant to me. I spent 2.5 hours at a meeting yesterday. There were 2 items on the agenda had something to do with me, and I had to leave before they were even brought up because the doctors waffled on for so long. I had patience. I had to leave. Okay. And then, like I said, I'm a spinner, so I'll show you what I have been spinning. What is on my wheel, my lovely new Magicraft Pioneer that has been altered to have a bigger flyer. I think I brought it. So this is, oh no, I've still got, I'll get back to it in a minute. This is the flyer that they altered for art yarn spinning. It's got these big orifices, and they're like fishing line eye things. It's really good. I really like it. This is what I'm spinning. I haven't done much. Well, I've done a bit. It's super, super fine. Let's see if I can find the end. Here we go. Let's see if I find the end, and then so you can see it's very fine. And it's You Give Me the Knits fibre, say, which is yougivemetheknits.com. And it's just a merino silk bamboo blend. It's so lovely and soft and smushy. Not my colours usually, but I saw it and I fell in love. I bought this and the new wheel and some other things I'm going to show you at the Insubordinate workshop that I went to a month or so ago. I love JC Boggs. She's come down to Australia for the second time, and this was the second time I went to her workshop. I had to catch the bus for 10 hours to go to the workshop. Never again. I did have plane tickets, but the airline that I had bought tickets from was having issues and they weren't flying at the time. So I elected to get a refund, which I still haven't received. And I was going on a road trip with my husband and his two mates, and then the two mates decided they didn't want to do it anymore, and it was very expensive if I wanted to fly by that stage, because air tickets in Australia are stupidly expensive compared to the rest of the world. The train would have been preferable over the bus, but it doesn't run every day, so I caught the bus and I sat next to a stinky smoker and I kept dropping everything. There was no room to knit. It was an overnight bus and I slept like shit, so it wasn't a good thing. But the workshop itself was fantastic. Loved it. Learnt so much. Can't wait to do it again. I would love to do more workshops and classes, but we don't really have that sort of stuff here in Adelaide too much. There's no, I think there might be one yarn store that does classes, but that is during the day for people who don't work 9 to 5. And there is a knitting guild, but I've been told it's not the friendliest place. And the Spinners and Weavers Guild, it would be nice to join up, but I just haven't. I'm lazy. I haven't. So that's one thing that I'm spinning. The other thing is I am very, very infrequently picking up my new drop spindle. One of 2 new drop spindles. I don't know where the other one is. It's somewhere over there on the table. One of 2 new drop spindles I also bought at the Insubordinate workshop from a gentleman who is actually local to me called Spinning Woody. He is on Ravelry and he is a spinner and a woodworker. So I have some things from him. This is a gorgeous tiny, I think it's 12-gram little spindle. And again, I am spinning super fine on it. Pardon me. Oh, I'm rude. I burp. So again, super fine. And this is again from You Give Me the Knits. Bought it on the same weekend. and it is a gorgeous alpaca merino blend, 80-20 blend. So I'm going to get some out and get it out so you can see the colours better. Again, the colours are a bit washed out, and again, they're not my usual colours, but isn't it gorgeous with the pinks and the greens and the browns? So pretty. It's going to take me forever to spin on that tiny little spindle if I keep going. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm talking about spinning Woody. Another thing that I bought from him and his wife was this, my Andean plying tool, and I did use it on something I'll show you later, some 2-ply that I recently done. So Andean plying is a good way to use all of your singles if you're doing a 2-ply. I never split my balls or my roving in half equally when I'm trying to do a 2-ply, and which is the way I mostly spin 2-plies or Navajo plying. So you can, so this is a good tool to use up all of the yarn because it creates a centerful ball, and you can spin from that, so you get both ends. And when I do it on my own, just create a normal centerful ball, it always ends up as kayak, just a mess. And I swear and I curse and I yell and sometimes throw the ball across the room because it's a mess, and I still persevere because I don't want to waste the beautiful, beautiful fibre. So this, I've used it once and it's great. You can use your hand for Andean plying and wrap the yarn around, but I got little hands and I'm lazy, and this way I can wrap it on here and leave it on here, and if I have to stop, that's fine. Don't recommend putting a whole 100 grams of fibre on this. Friend of mine at the spinning retreat tried that. Wasn't a good idea. It worked, it was just a little bit difficult. So look up how to do Andean plying, and instead of using your hand, you use this. Works fantastically. I also have a, I'll show that later. What else am I working on? Because I forgot it last time and it dropped on the ground. I've got to work out a better system. Is this, and you can't tell what it is, I'm sure, but it is the start of Nessie from Amigurumi Knits, which is this fantastic pattern book. And I haven't knit any toys before, and that's her, that's Nessie. I'm doing it in green on the top, like this light green, and then a purple on the bottom, because I like green and purple, and it's for my niece. She's tiny, and I'm sure she'll like green and purple. So like I said, I hadn't made any toys before, but I love the look of them, and I joined an amigurumi swap on Ravelry on the Australian Swappers board. I used to be really into swapping, and then when I decided to do some selfish knitting, I put swapping away, but this came up and I just had to give it a try. So seeing as I'm talking about it, this is what I've knit for the amigurumi swap, and it's a snail, and it's from this book, and it's so cute. So there we go. I think that's it. I can't see now. It's supposed to have eyes on it, but I couldn't work out how to do it. I'm sorry, there's hair. So it's, I think it looks cute just as it is. The shell was so easy to knit. Followed the pattern. It was wonderful. The body gave me a little bit of trouble. Knit the top of the body just fine. The mantle, I think it's called in the book, and then I got to the bottom and I didn't really understand. It said something about putting 24 stitches on the other needle and then picking up and knitting, and looked on Ravelry and figured out what it meant. And once I figured it out, it was good. Though apparently the bottom is supposed to be stockinette and not reverse stockinette. Yeah. Design feature. Oh, what else am I knitting? I've got more. That's my fluff from my drop spindle. Socks. Oh, bag's breaking. I'm a newlywed. Don't know if I've said that because I've tried recording this a lot today. Middle of May, I got married. And on my wedding night, I was hyped up. My husband was asleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I went online, said hi to my plate bodies. And then someone said, Vespa is up. And I have never knit Vespa. I'm not a sock knitter, I'm a shawl knitter. I have attempted socks. I have never completed a pair of socks. But I got this beautiful stuff. And I know it's all messy because I'm knitting it completely in a weird way. But I'm knitting them 2 at a time. Magic loop on the same needle. And what I've done, it's probably a stupid thing, but it's the Vespa sock yarn, 100% superwash merino, and it's in the meadow colourway. And I actually got it the day we got back from our honeymoon in Fiji, and in our honeymoon there was beautiful greenery and the blue water, and there were pink flowers everywhere. So I'm calling them my honeymoon sock. So I'm knitting them toe up with an afterthought heel. I want to use every last bit of my balls of yarn. So I put in my lines for my afterthought heel there. They're not matchy at all. You can see one starts pink, one starts green. So I put in a line for afterthought heel and knit another few inches up. And then what I did, which I'm never doing again, is put all the stitches from both socks on waste yarn and went down, and I've picked up for one of the heels. And this is as far as I got because I got distracted and decided to knit other things. And I haven't picked this up for a couple of months now. But I've started to do the afterthought heel there. And then what I'll do is I'll pick up, and I'll finish this, and I'll pick up this one and do this one, and then I'll put this needle, the stitches back on the needle, and I'll knit until the yarn is finished. I got another ball of Vespa, or another skein of Vespa at the same time. So for the next one, I think I'll do a pattern. I will try and finish a pair of socks. I do want some hand knit socks. I get bored. So these are again on my Addi Turbo Lace. And they're tiny needles, and I have no idea what size they are because it doesn't say, and I don't have a sizer on me right now. Okay, other completed things. I have my skein of pretty yarn. This is a bulky. I'm normally a fine spinner, as you can see from the others, but I decided to spin this quite bulkily. It's actually my own hand dye. It was for a swap, but it was just so pretty. I was going to, because it was some top, some white merino, and I was going to card it up and blend it with some sparkles on my drum carder, but it was just too pretty. It was pinks, it was reds and blues and purples, and it was just too pretty to card up and too pretty to give away. So I dyed up some more and carded it up, and it was very pretty still. It's very pretty, but I could give it away because I had one of my own. And that was ages ago. and I finally spun it on my new wheel on the big whirl to make it chunky and smushy, and I really like it. And then my latest big finished object is my Jules cardigan. My first proper finished. Well, actually, no, I did do knit something for my wedding. I knit a bolero for my wedding, and I've knit another bolero, but this is a proper full-size sweater. I probably shouldn't have gone up. It's a little bit big for me. I planned to do the 40-inch, and for some reason I highlighted all the things for the 44-inch, and I'm using my little spinning woody shawl pin. Another spinning woody thing. He's a lovely man. You should go buy from him. I don't know, but he doesn't do it online, so you can't. It's not quite right, but it's a knitting pattern from Amy Singer, I want to say, but I don't think it is her. I'm not sure. It's some Joe Sharp, something Silk Road Ultra with the silk, merino silk and cashmere blend, and I knit it longer so that it hits me below my hip. Knit it longer than the pattern. I should have stood up because now I'm going to have to jump back on this chair. There we go. Lots of movement. So let me look at my show notes. I did write some show notes. Not very well though. And I love it. I've worn it to work once and got lots of compliments on it. So that was very nice. And I think I love knitting jumpers and cardigans. I have some yarn and the pattern to knit a beautiful cardigan from the Twist Collective. I swatched for it. I did. I was a good girl and I swatched, but the swatch didn't match, so I was going to have to knit another swatch, and then I just didn't, and it got put in my back room with all my fibre, and it stayed there. So I got to pull that out and try again. But I kind of fell in love with two new patterns. The new Knitty Deep Fall came out this week, and as soon as I saw these two patterns in it, I immediately, not quite immediately because I was at work, but as soon as I could get a minute, I went and I bought all the exact yarn that was used in the pattern to make them myself. Now, I always substitute yarn. I never use the yarn in the pattern, but I did buy the yarn, and I did bring the patterns over. I just don't know where I put them. There they are. Okay, first one. These are in black and white because I printed them off and I don't need the colour in my printing. It was the Vignette by Amy Herzog. It's so cute, and I think it will look just pretty on me. And in the blue of the yarn, and the yarn that I bought, I got it from Webs. I try to buy locally, but you know, the yarn is a Webs yarn. It's the Valley Yarns Sheffield, which is a wool, silk, Angora blend. It looks so pretty. I'm really looking forward to knitting that. It's so pretty. Everybody should go look at it. And then the other one was the Tenny Park by Elizabeth Morrison. So again, really pretty, and I've never done entrelap. I actually did buy the mini mochi because it's going to be Luette Gems in the Sport, Merino Sport, and then the mini mochi by Crystal Palace. I could get that mini mochi locally or semi-locally in Australia, so I bought that from Yarn Over Coffee, I believe they're called now. They used to be called American Yarns. She specialises in yarns from America. So that's my knitting at the moment and my spinning, and other stuff. Oh shoot, I've got to go because I am going to try out for roller derby. We have a couple of roller derby leagues actually locally. The one I'm trying out for is the Adelaide Roller Derby, and a friend of mine was in a team, and then her partner or her wife was the timekeeper for the sin bin as well. So they were both heavily involved in roller derby, and I finally got to a few bouts this year, just the grand final, which was a double header, and then a game before that. Fell in love. It looks like so much fun, and I used to skate when I was real little, so I went and I've been practicing, and my husband bought me my own skates and all the pads and everything. So I am practicing, and today I actually went down to a rink a long way away from me, which is where, well, not too long, it's about half an hour drive or so, which is where we are going to be practicing for raw meat, which is the first round of tryouts. And it's supposed to be a sticky floor, and so I was looking forward to giving it a go. When I got there, apparently there was no skating on today. The company that runs it wasn't there this week, and they're not going to be there next week. So I'm going back to the place that I usually go to, which usually has a few derby girls there, and I'm going to go and skate. So I will keep you updated on my progress, because tryouts start on October 6th, which is like 2 weeks away. Pretty scared. It's going to be so much fun. And that's me. You can find me at my blog, which is Willowfairy Knits at .wordpress.com. I have started up a Google email, willowfairyknits@gmail.com, and I have joined Google Plus under that email, I think, I hope, but I haven't used it yet. But find me and friend me, or whatever you do, because I'm a Facebook girl and I have never used Google Plus, so teach me the ways. Anyway, so that's me. That's my knitting and my spinning, and my first update on my skating as well. So I'm hoping to have lots of updates in the future. Not too many bruises, but I'm sure there will be bruises. I don't care about bruises, as long as they don't hurt too much. But that's me. That's what I've got to do, what I've got to say. So I don't know how to finish this. It's quite awkward trying to finish it, so I'll just say see you later, and I hope you enjoyed watching.